Gonna jam a league with this, get warmed up, get a few games under our belt, get the stream rolling, then we can go from there. Do you like Ketramos with the increase of prowess and aggro decks for the sideboard? I don't hate Ketramos. It's not like top of my list to play, but it's not bad. I don't like playing, say, one copy of Ketramos. I think I would want it to be a 2. So I want it to be a little more consistent than just like randomly seeing a 1 of in those matchups. But it's not bad. The only thing I dislike about Ketramos is you do need like multiple moving parts to come together to make it work. Like you can't just draw Ketramos, play Ketramos, and it does the thing. You have to like draw Ketramos, play Ketramos, and draw and play like a frog, or and draw and play a Murktide, or and draw and play like a Nihil Spellbomb or something like that. So the fact that it's got like multiple reliances is a little awkward. Zoo on a mold of 6 with a ley line. Oh, I beat multiple Doorkeeper Thrall last night with Goryos. That was kind of fun. Keep a tomato. Probably not playing it out this turn, but I can have it like next turn plus counter spell. I wonder if our opponent has got the card Doorkeeper Thrall. What do we think? Really just holding this up? If I fight over this, they could just flage on their turn. Kill the Tamiyo anyway. As much as I love Tamiyo, it might not be a great meta for Tamiyo. Just because of all the flages running around. Frog. Bruh. Stop it. Stop it. They're gonna untap and have a Scion, aren't they? Pretty decent. Kaito a little bit less so in the face of the resolved Scion. Like Riddler. He's not bad. Would kind of like a strategic betrayal. It'll land though. That's a plus. Hard cast a Quantum Riddler next turn. Yeah, I definitely do not have the list updated on Boxfield at the moment. Kind of just wanted to register something to get going. Soon they bottom this. A Quantum Riddler. It's totally going to find me a strategic betrayal. Dang it. Worth thought seizing right now. I would go to 9. Do still have Swamp in the deck. 7. Roll, throw, lightning bolt, stop. Let's take a lightning bolt because that stops this Scion from killing off my Riddler. Kavu is fine. Okay, so we can go fair. Fair. All the Riddlers. Single last one of them. Signs. We've got one Harbinger on the draw. I didn't see anything to make me think they were playing a heavy blue presence, but they could have like Mystical Dispute post board. Ashiok could be a play on the play. Stern Scolding does hit Thrall, but I don't think that's enough of a reason to keep it in. Scolding kind of mid, Pending kind of mid for the same reason. Like it only really hits Thrall and Kavu. Force a little slow. I guess it might be worth keeping in. Pending like on the draw. And two, maybe I just want the full 4 answers to Ragavan and Kavu. Kaito more than a Bowman. Spellbomb more than a Bowman. Bowmaster pretty mid into your opponent playing a 4/4 hexproof vigilance life linker. This is fine. Answer to a Ragavan, turn 2 frog with like subtlety for a Scion. Hold up. That's not cool. I don't appreciate this being in your 75. Like, I appreciate it being in the graveyard, but don't appreciate that being a card you have got access to. The opponent kept a 1-lander. Scary thing. Down. I'm just going to push this now and play a tap land. I could go for getting the frog into play. But like the one way I think they really have a chance of getting out of this is if one of their blind draws is a leyline binding and they get to just get rid of the Ragavan. Now that I've got like the fatal push, I can just double up on push turns and get frog down. See if we can get a frog hit in. Doorkeeper Thrall, Consign, Unknown. Spellbomb is A-OK. Don't care about that. Pretty all right. Hit with a frog, see if they do anything. They do not. Jutsu. Activated ability, so they cannot consign it. It's hoping to hit a land. Did not work out that way. So we do have to subtlety this doorkeeper thrall, right? They can't just like untap and maybe find like a flage or something to kill my Kaito. Doorkeeper thrall on the bottom. Can you Tidebinder ninjutsu so the Kaito never hits? Yeah, you can Tidebinder the activation of ninjutsu, and they'll be left with the Kaito and the card that they return in hand. Or you can just let the Kaito come down, hit you, and then Tidebinder the loyalty activation, and they just have like a 3/4 vanilla 3/4 on the battlefield. Just kind of depends on if you've got a removal spell, you want to Tidebinder the loyalty ability. If you don't have a removal spell, then you can try to strand them in hand. On the play, pretty good hand. Turn 1 land, Dreams. Turn 2 Bowmaster. Turn 3 Ninjutsu Kaito. Yeah, it's not countered because it's not being cast. It's an activated ability, but the cost of activating the ability is returning an unblocked creature. So that gets paid when you activate ninjutsu. Then the ninjutsu ability goes on the stack, and if that gets Tidebindered, then the Kaito is just still in hand because ninjutsu as an ability is put the card from the hand into the battlefield. You're never putting it like on the stack to resolve. Boiling Oracle. They've got a birthing ritual. That's a fairly annoying hand. I think I'm taking Riddler. Take Riddler, then Bowmaster the Oracle when they try to ritual. Well, I'm assuming that they wouldn't just play out the ritual turn 2. And if they play out ritual on turn 2, I actually get like a little punished here if I let that go, because then if I want to flash in Bowmaster and untap a Ninjutsu Kaito, they've got me answered. Or they don't have me answered. They'd have the ability to resolve the Oracle afterwards, and I can't do anything about it. But it said they're a big fan. And like if they go for Coiling Oracle here and I let this resolve and then go for Bowmaster, they can Flare of Denial my Bowmaster. Again, kind of sucks. Put Harbinger of Seas in hand. Okay. Sage, what's up? They don't put Harbinger on the stack or Birthing Ritual. So we assume that they've got like an Ice Fang Coatl here. Turn cycle kind of sucks for me. I don't like the way that I played this game so far. Don't like this at all. Yep. Keep getting told the Simic Ritual deck is a pile, but man, is it doing good? Is it doing good? There. Got like a few 5-0s. One challenge top 8. Did win a challenge. Guess that's not bad. Like, my problem with this deck is I think that the hands that don't have Birthing Ritual are like unplayable in Modern, and the hands that do are pretty good. And I think that's just like too much variance between the highs and the lows. That's just my opinion on it. I don't play it, so I should definitely not be the deciding vote. Like double ritual just guarantees they find an Oculus. Most of the time it cheeses out wins with Harbinger. Not even necessarily like cheesing out, is it? It's just birthing ritual is birthing ritual is a card I don't like the design of, because like birthing pod, well, I had an answer to the Harbinger in hand, which is why I didn't fetch out the swamp, but I can't do much about them just birthing ritual flipping into another Harbinger. I don't like the way birthing ritual is designed, because birthing pod, you have to sack the creature as part of the cost of getting the ability, but birthing ritual, you get to see the cards first and then decide, hey, do I want to sack or not? And I don't think that's the way that card should be formatted. But again, that's more just like nitpicky personal thoughts than it is, oh my god, we have to go back and redesign the entire card. I just personally feel like it should have been formatted such that you sack and then you look 7 deep and get to pick one, and that's like your reward for playing a birthing pod that costs 2 less. Think 7 cards at a time is wild. Yeah, 7's a pretty big number for that card. And like, but like, I don't think birthing ritual should stack the way that it does. And I think that only works because you don't have to sack as part of the cost. So being able to play out 2 birthing rituals and effectively look 14 cards deep for something to do is kind of wild. But I guess at that point, if you're paying 4 mana, it might as well just be birthing pod, right? I don't know if there's like a metric that get used for like birthing ritual style effects, but do we know why some of these say mana value X or less, and some of them say like 1+ period or 2+ period? Like, why is birthing ritual formatted 1 more or less, and then like Neoform is formatted 1+ the sacrifice creature's mana cost, but not less, and you have to sack as part of the cost for Neoform? Is there anybody that knows card design reasonings that can give like the explanation off that? MH3 power creep design. Well, I just don't get why there's like an established template and then it gets ignored, and the ignored version, a la birthing ritual, creates problems. It seems like the first step would be, hey, take this template we have that's working and extend upon that. One lets you search for, meaning if it resolves, you're guaranteed a creature. If Birthing Ritual trigger resolves, you're not guaranteed a creature. Yeah, but you also just don't have to sack with Birthing Ritual. Stupid. Up. Like, you still get something in return the vast majority of scenarios, right? Like, even if it's not great, if you're playing Birthing Ritual in your creature deck, like, you're playing a lot of creatures. I don't know if I would say stone cold unplayable. All right, so they do have they have Birthing Ritual and just 75 counter spells. It's kind of funny. So let's take the thing that ruins our day. And hopefully we can start converting on some land drops. All right. Sorry, Tamio number 3. Like you're not making it to Christmas. Boiling Oracle. What's my best way of getting some counters out of hand? I could go for Bowmaster. They Stern Scolding. I Mystical Dispute the Oracle. I could go for Mystical Dispute. They dispute back. I counterspell. Dispute. Need to start working through some of these eventually. Plus, using up spells gets me closer to subtlety or to Quantum Riddler. But land. Thank you. We could flip Tamio here, which wouldn't be bad now that they've played out this Soporific Springs. Is that what I want to do? I think I am. Just like one of my best win conditions against a deck full of counter spells. And even if their two unknowns are 2-drop creature plus ritual, I can still interact with the creature. You think a 1-mana brainstorm that only drew 2 and put 2 back would be good for modern? Like 1 mana, draw 2, put 2 back at instant speed, I'm guessing. I think I would probably argue that's too good. Could be sorcery. Still probably too good. I'd certainly play it, but I think for the most part it would just be too good of an enabler for modern. You don't really have like ways to interact with that. If you gave us that and then also gave us a fixed mental misstep, then we could talk about it. And has got a glaring weakness. How would you fix misstep? I would make it 1 mana, like actually have to pay a blue and counter a spell CMC, or if counter a spell if 1 or less mana was spent to cast it. That would be option number 1. Option number 2 would be make it like force of mental misstep. Like you can misstep on the draw and pay life, but or pitch a card, whatever, but you can't misstep on the play. Or you can't get the discount when you're the active player. So you can fight over opposing unfair 1 mana stuff, but you can't use it to protect your stuff from other missteps. I think I'm just going to pass with Mystical Dispute up here. I don't think I want to like go Tameo, they counter, play a creature on their turn, and then have like Flare of Denial up. Minor misstep. Minor misstep so bad. Like all minor misstep had to do to fix itself was say counter target spell if 1 or less mana was spent to cast it. And it would have been like a great addition to modern. But they didn't. We're going to take another land. But I agree. I would also welcome Mental Misstep back. Much as I get dragged through the mud from chat every time I make that suggestion. Like, look at our opponent's deck. If a Mental Misstep would do literal nothing against them game one, game two, depending on Stern scoldings, they might have some targets. But this is what I talk about whenever I say, like, every deck does not become a 4 misstep to fight over your opponent's 4 misstep decks. Because there is zero reason whatsoever for this deck to run 4 misstep if all you're doing is trying to counter your opponent's mental missteps that aren't interacting with anything that you're doing anyway. Okay. I do not know if any of these Birthing Ritual decks play Spell Snare. So I don't know if there's any reason to like Prismatic Ending for 3 instead of 2. I don't think they do. But I do know some lists play Force of Negation. Like all of these things. Do me a kindness and do not have Force Negation, opponent. Opponent says the infinite ways of closed deck lists. Also, I've been like pretty impressed with the prismatic endings when I've run them. I feel like I've gotten some good mileage. No. Oh no. Okay. Could have been worse. Now, option number 1, Thoughtseize Ninjutsu Kaito. Option number 2, Thoughtseize Frog. Option number 3, Ninjutsu Kaito replay Tamio. Option number 4 is hardcast Kaito. I think I'm on Thoughtseize Ninjutsu. I'm glad that I was on Thoughtseize. And now we start Kaito embleming until the cows come home. Bunny, what's up? There is down. And bounce you. Play a frog. Get the swamp in case of Harbinger. Subtlety off of... Oh, they subtletied off of Quantum Riddler. Another Quantum Riddler out of hand. Bottom. Oh, that was the Riddler that I bounced. I'm an idiot. Riddler. On you. Are we flipping Tameo this turn? Crack a clue, see what we hit, and then decide. That for next turn. I don't think there's any reason to cast that now when they have Flare of Denial that I know about. It's like it's free to flare off of this Quantum Riddler. Now we can have buyback something. Boiling Oracle gets Essence Flux. How do I feel about that? Let some people talk me into playing no subs in the challenge last night, and it cost me 2 matches. What happened to cause those 2 matches? Okay. We have options. We could go Strategic Betrayal, buy back Strategic Betrayal. We could go Bowmaster Betrayal. Mystical Dispute, Flare of Denial, Essence Flux that we know about. We could buy back Thoughtseize. I could go Kaito, Emblem, and attack. So if they Essence Flux the Quantum Riddler, we're still attacking into it. Cameo could buy back Mystical Dispute. Oh, man. This is a tough one. So they've got Flare available for sure. If I go for like Bowmaster, ping the Coiling Oracle. All right. Bowmaster, ping Coiling Oracle either gets Essence Flux or it gets Hardcast Flare. So if I buy back Mystical Dispute, I beat Hardcast Flare. They can dispute. No, I don't. All right. Cameo, rebuy, dispute. See what you do. Spawned with Essence Flux, the Riddler. So if I respond with Bowmaster here, then they either have to hardcast Flare, hardcast Mystical Dispute, or Bowmaster shoots Coiling Oracle and I just restun the Quantum Riddler. So here's a Bowmaster. Like, really, all I want to do is get the Coiling Oracle off the board so that I've got Strategic Betrayal backed up by Mystical Dispute to get the Quantum Riddler off the board. So, Hardcast Flare. This is okay. Right? Because I still Strategic Betrayal, Mystical Dispute, and Force, or Strategic Betrayal, Mystical Dispute, Kaito tap down whatever's left. You draw your card. I get back Mystical Dispute. I go for Strategic Betrayal. You either flare or something dies. I stun the other thing. Kaito. They should honestly just splash white for Ephemerate. Yeah, but Essence Flux doesn't pitch to Subtlety. And aren't they like a 4 Subtlety deck? I'm sure their blue count's still fine, but... I don't know what they can do in response to this. They splash white, they can also play Prismatic Ending as removal. Well, they ain't going Prismatic Ending a Kaito for 3 mana or 3 colors. Kaito! Good. Why? No, they didn't salt. They were friendly in chat. On the draw. Very, very interactive hand. No threat kind of sucks. We think we're up against. Ship this. I think game 1, I want something I can like work towards, something a little more proactive. Eldrazi. What I think of Eldrazi. Yep. Puzzle X command. Hey. I don't think I'm going to play out the frog here. I'm just going to buy. Never mind. Counterspell that because I'm not going to get to counterspell anything else. So. Let's go to game 2. Because I know that they've got the Devourer right there and they can cast that at any point. So, green-red Eldrazi has Cavern of Souls. Should I believe this is Brood Scale, or is there any reason I should think one way or the other? Does Brood Scale play Devourer? I feel like they don't. I think this is just ramp. Assume this is just ramp. All right. I don't want to just hold up counterspell this turn. Like fight over a rumble or something. Try to slow things down a little bit. But also fight over like Copia Sprawl, Talisman, kind of whatever. Especially if they're starting with like double basic forest. Okay. So flip Tameo. The Harbinger. Top. Preordain again. Doesn't matter what I do with this. I want the basic swamp. Eldrazi Temple, so they can Myco spawn next turn. So we're taking that. Exile, Tameo ticked up, say go. What's on top? Kaito can certainly speed up the clock a bit. Harbinger. Find a rumble. It's Talisman. So they're going to have Chrysalis next turn if they want it. One, two, three, four, five, six. They can just have Ugin next turn if I don't interact with this Myco spawn. So I need to Kaito. No, I need a strategic betrayal of the Harbinger or the Eldrazi spawn. Pick up Tameo. I don't think I want to return Dreams. I think I want to try to ult this Tameo next turn. So I can like draw some consigns and thought seizes and whatnot. Don't even have to. Opponent's off of it. Nice. Power of the Tamiyo ult. I would love this hand if one of these lands were another blue card or another threat. Am I keeping this? Turn one thought seize. Force pitch Tamiyo. I think I have to ship this on the draw. Like one of those situations where that hand's just not working towards something. Okay. Got turn 3 Harbinger potentially. Love to see a consigned memory here. Kozilek's command. Okay. I want to play Tamiyo with Mako and Faithless Looting. I don't know about Mako. Like, I just think that such a strong advantage of Tamiyo is getting to bypass a lot of the stuff that makes these other threats weak. I don't know why you'd want to run like 4 threats. Too many cast triggers, not enough consigns. I think the only way we had a shot this game is if we like naturally had a consign earlier. Instead of having to find it off preordain. Counterspell's pretty obvious at this point. And any big cast trigger kind of does it. I guess technically we'd have a chance here if they just like tap out for a big Kozilek's command, use their colorless mana in response. Like no real reason to do that. Much ramp too quickly. You really have to interact with like the talismans early if you want the Harbinger plan to work. It's good that Eldrazi ramp has not been as popular as people were afraid it was going to be after Ugin got spoiled. Oh, you're Santa Claus? I'm Banta Claus. Today was the ban announcement. They banned stuff in standard and legacy. You have Wan Shi Tong list already? No. No, I do not. Like I have no interest in putting a list together until the card is actually legal. All right, so opponent has got Mystical Dispute up if they would like it. Loris over Wan Shi Tong. I mean, sure, if the argument is, are we comparing a card that is literally on the ban list already to one that has not even been played in a game? Oh, Loris into Wan Shi Tong. That could be kind of fun. I'm just looking for a force and negation. They have like a weapons manufacturing here. I kind of can't do anything about it. Same thing with a Kappa Cannoneer here, which looks like what they got. Nice a minute ago. Vintage deck is ready. I feel like Wan Shi Tong's not going to see a lot of vintage play. Didn't Bowmasters in like half the decks? Four Bowmaster, four Frog. Have Bowmaster. Definitely have Bowmaster. Oh, me, the force negation. We could sink into Super to bounce the EE and then Thought sees it away. Feel like that's not good enough. I think my out is to like find a frog, put a big frog into play if they can't Kappa. Can't attack through. Skip to that. That's why we got pest controls in the board though. Oh, Amulet of Vigor banned. Did you read the Reddit post? Apparently somebody on Reddit was posting around that Amulet was banned and something else. Forgot what the other one was. One already trolled me. Nobody trolled me. I just read the announcement when it came out. I used my eyeballs to see what the ban announcement was. Love to play first. This is fine. Turn one, Dark Slick Dreams. Try to hit a Pinnacle Emissary. Turn two, Archive Preordained. Start digging for answer to the follow-up. They have a Blood Moon. And they not currently play it on turn 2. Just get a swamp and play out the frog. They do play the blood moon. We at least have a play down. Show me a untapped white source. Give me a hallowed fountain. I guess just like a blue fetch. Okay. Kind of dope. Does that mean I want to hold up consign here? If they put like a free artifact on the stack, I can interact. That was a hell of a rap line. Opponent is not going to play their blood moon. Does that mean like another copy of Metallic Rebuke? Or not Metallic, Sink into Stupor? Yeah. I'm going to let this go. Second main. Island. Ending the opal. Play frog. Preordain. Just dig for interaction of some sort. Cool. They want a blood moon here. That's fine. Can start ditching stuff to the frog. Moon. Yeah. Those. Got him in night. Wait. Carry on. Metallic Rebuke unknown. Oh, please be a Kappa. Please be a Kappa. Need blue in there somewhere. Not casting the Kappa. What are we doing if we're not casting the Kappa? Like, Conan, are you in here with us? Like, your only play is cast the Kappa. So there's like no reason to do anything but cast the Kappa. If you don't cast the Kappa, it's not getting better for you because you're not getting to a point where you're like, Kappa, hold up Mystical Dispute or hold up Metallic Rebuke. You don't know that I have Mystical Dispute and Force. Your Kappa at that moment is like outgrowing my frog. Mormod's Crypt, no follow-up. Mormod's Crypt, still no follow-up. Let's I guess get a basic. So I've got that in play. Probably should have played out the Polluted Delta. Like, the only way they're keeping this hand is if they've got Emissary and a bunch of zeros, right? Or something to do. Think. Fair enough. Fair enough. What was their keep? I'm assuming their keep was like Pinnacle Emissary, a bunch of free artifacts, and just didn't have the mana to cast the Emissary, or like had the Opal and didn't want to commit to the board in the face of not getting to like get the drones off of the Emissary because all their 0 drops would be out fueling Opal, and they wanted to like give themselves a draw or two to find a land to Emissary plus zeros is my guess. Just didn't hit the land and didn't want to commit their stuff. Blink. Oreos. Esper Goryos. I flip over into Traxa. I could force this and get closer to Quantum Riddler. Keep that. Tomato. They go for a main phase Faithful Mending. I think I'm just snapping off this force. Do not. Kind of rude of them. Okay. Basic Swamp here is brutal. Basic Swamp is brutal every time. One of these days, I'm eventually just going to put together a list that drops the swamp. It just says, like, I don't care about Blood Moon. Can't hurt me. Force Negation's gone. Blooded Strand is gone. What does Shock-In Breeding Pool mean? Blood Moon in the metagame with you right now. You realize we literally just played against Blood Moon last round, right? Like, we played against Blood Moon last round. We locked in his Eldrazi opponent out with Flood Moon the round before. I should probably play out the Tameo. I'm not going to strategic betrayal. Tainted Indulgence. Ephemerate is gone. Psychic Frog has hit the battlefield. So I made previous claims that I thought strategic betrayal was like the single greatest answer into a resolve frog when Goryo's was the top tier deck in the format. And we're going to see if that continues to be the case. Yeah, flashback. Cool. Discard your stuff. It's going to get exiled. It's all gone. It can't hurt me from over there. Yard's gone. Frog's gone. Their hand is Goryo's and an unknown. Kind of surprised to see them keep Goryo's here. Solitude, sure. Exile that one. Got a Goryo's and an unknown. A consign or ephemerate. Sure. Greenbound it again. You won't, you coward. Let's go ahead and get the Goryos out of hand. All right, so Bowmaster takes out the Solitude. Counterspell for whatever they draw. Try to hard cast Riddler next turn. Land. Okay, so I think I'm going to play this a little bit slow because they found the 7th land and they still have a Surveil. I'm just going to try to set up for hard cast Riddler next turn with Counterspell up. Just in case they rip a Trax off the top here. Obviously, that involves finding the land, but love to hit that. Traxa. Land. Ramo coming in with a 9-month resub. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the Stubscribers. Enjoy continued access to all of our sweet custom emotes. And let me update the sub goal. We are officially a 5th of the way to a lose it and use it challenge. All right. I'm going to counterspell this and just cast the Quantum Riddler regardless of what I hit. Like if opponent just, never mind, no longer casting Quantum Riddler this turn. I was going to say if opponent just went like runner, Solitude into Atraxa, into second Solitude, into second Atraxa, get got. But now that we've drawn Frog, we don't have to. Our opponent they do still have another Solitude. right, well, opponent has done a pretty good job of running hot on their last several draws. Obviously we're also doing well, but to be fair, we're like the interactive deck here. Like to draw a bunch. Hit you for 10, draw 2 or draw 3. Don't have a land drop to make, so we'll just pass it back. Nice. Do it again. Got Spellbomb coming in, Ashiok, Stern Scolding, Mystical Disputes. Hey, what's up? We're currently 3-1 in this league. Up a game playing for the 4-1 right now. We lost to Eldrazi Ramp, which did not feel particularly good for the home team. But happens. Definitely not a matchup I was particularly expecting to face. But we beat up on what? Beat Zoo, beat Affinity, beat something, lost Eldrazi, up a game on Goryos. Keep throwback. Back archive. Great job on the Goryos run. Definitely appreciate it. Upset I couldn't have gotten the top 8 on the Goryos run. One of the losses was literally to timeout because my power went out in the middle of one of the games and couldn't finish, which is brutal. Are we winning? We're currently 3-1 this league. We're up a game in round 5. So trying to get the 4-1. Opponent takes Mystical Dispute, so I'm going to assume that means they've got a Mystical Dispute. I want that, but kind of a ways off of making that work. They're fetching on their own instep. Know that I have dreams. Swing and a miss. They kept a card on top. This is unfortunately free Tammy or free Teferi. Maybe they didn't. Maybe it's something else. Maybe they put a frog on top. Hold up. Hold up. What did you keep on top and then pass through the turn? It's not a faithful mending. Like no reason to leave a card on top and then not cast it. And wheat. What's hiding? Like a force negation? Second mystical dispute. All right, Tamio, take us to the promised land. And pass back. Solitude. Nope. Good old mana screw v mana screw. 7 card hand v 7 card hand. Faithful mending. Hey. Discard a Goryo's and a second mending. Guess we just have to go for this and hope they don't have anything. Just need lands too badly. Ooh, lands. One, two. Didn't faithful mending on my end step. Opponent is doing their best impression of somebody that does not want to win this game. We're going to attack with Kaito, 0. Hopefully find an untapped land so I can Ashiok with Mystical Dispute up. These lands aren't a figment of my imagination, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go off the assumption that opponent does not have a third Teferi Time Reveler. Okay. Good. Good deck. Looky there. See if we can strategic betrayal away these mendings. That is fine. Goryo's gone. Solitude's gone. Pass it back. So I know they have an ephemerate. I can cast a Mystical Dispute just to try to get their Mystical Dispute out of hand. I don't hate that. It's gone. Good. Pick up Kaito, make an emblem, pass back. The opponent goes to fetch, will respond to the fetch with Bowmasters. This lets us play around like Stern Scolding kind of for free. Solitude, Stern Scolding. Would you like to ephemerate? Is 3, 7. We can stun down the Quantum Riddler. That would mean that they can't fetch at the moment. Put you at 1. Play Tameo, Warp Riddler, flip Tameo. Seems all right too. Is there any reason I do or do not want to just cast that right now? They could Solitude. I guess we're better holding on to it. They could Solitude their own Riddler and then have something like Frog discard. Goryo's back. Might want to just hold on to Counterspell. I did do a Goryo's run yesterday. Played another challenge with Goryo's. I'll have the video out on it tomorrow. It's actually got some exciting stuff with it. It was a bit of a collaboration event with a new sponsor of ours, and we're going to be announcing a giveaway that I guess I can go ahead and give the details of. Doesn't really matter if I give it early. So we partnered up with Aura Watches, who's doing a giveaway for a watch in our YouTube video. I'll have like the links on how to get entered in that. And all it is like following me on YouTube, follow me on Twitch, follow them on Instagram. And they're giving away a free watch to one of our viewers. So we'll have that going on. I'll have like all the details in the YouTube video. So they're going Solitude. Sure. Solitude goes away. I'm guessing this is the setup for a draw spell. And we Bowmaster here instead of counter spell to play around, then having a mystical dispute. So, sweet league there. Unfortunately, losing to Eldrazi, but that's going to happen some amount of the times. Anything that I think I would change from that list? Man, Dreams of Steel and Oil is tough to judge. There's been times where like I've wanted to cut Dreams because it misses on some turns. And then there was like turns like we just had against Goryo's where we got to Dreams and Atraxa out of hand while they had a Goryo's. And if we had Thoughtseize, like that could have been problematic. But I also think that Goryo's is on the decline, so Dreams isn't as necessary or as high impact as it has been previously. So I definitely wouldn't fault you for just going 4th Thoughtseize over any number of Dreams. The bulk of the main deck felt fine. Really have any complaints. I haven't been missing Spell Snare. I like Stern Scolding for the opposing Solitude decks. Sideboard all seem to come together.